Well, good morning, everybody. Thought it was a good time to check in with the fourth behind us. I hope everybody had a good fourth. This morning, we greet you from the front porch of the home office in Lower Burrell, Pennsylvania. It's beautiful, isn't it? Well, anyway, wanted to touch base with kind of a schedule drop for everybody and get everybody up to date on what the schedule is going to be. The football schedule coming up here will be starting next month. It's right around the corner, so we might as well go through every game that's going to be, what the home games are, what's going to be happening at those games, and hopefully we'll be able to see everybody back out at Golden Rams Stadium this year as the Rams embark on their 54th football season and try to follow up that 4-3 season like any other last season. So let's start off with week 0. On August the 27th, the Rams will host University Prep. That is the amalgamation of University Prep, SciTech, and Obama Academy, put together by the University of Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh Public Schools. It'll be the first ever meeting between these two schools at Golden Rams Stadium, Friday night, August 27th. University Prep went 2-4 last year under head coach Lou Berry, and they will be coming into Highlands for the home opener on August 27th, week 0. Which gives us a chance to take a trivia question. Why not? What is the nickname of University Prep? We'll answer at the end. So think about that one for a moment and we'll be back to that. All right, week 1, AK Valley section of the schedule. Over my shoulder at Valley High School. If you look really closely over my shoulder, you can see New Kent. Anyway, Valley on September the 3rd, week 1, at Valley High School. Vikings went 2-5 last year under head coach Muzzy Colosimo. Interesting to note, 1994, Muzzy Colosimo was an assistant coach at Valley under Whizzer White before he went on to be the very successful head coach at Greensburg Central Catholic. So that's a little story about Muzzy. Battle of the Bridge renewed last time was the 23rd of October 2015 when Highlands lost the Valley at Highlands in an upset when the Vikings kicked the last second field goal and won 20-17. So Valley's held the bridge for 6 years. Maybe that's why it's in disrepair. I don't know. I'm just saying. So maybe the Rams can get the bridge back in that first game at Valley on September the 3rd. Next up will be week 2. We continue tour the AK Valley when the Burrell Bucks come into Highlands. Bucks last year 3-5 under head coach Sean Leota, the Springdale native, and last time they played was also 2015. This is when all the teams were back in the AA Allegheny Conference. That game that night, Highlands won at Burrell 7-3 in a tooth pulling type affair. This will be senior night, September the 10th, against the Burrell Bucks at home. They're going to have senior night early this year, so you might want to come out for that and honor all the Highlands seniors. All right, then conference play begins Friday night, September 17th, week 3 at Mars with legendary 31st year coach Scott Heinauer. The great coach there that's been there for 30 years. Scotty had his team in the playoffs again last year. They finished second in the Greater Allegheny Conference before losing to TJ 41-6 in the playoffs. If you remember the game they played at Highlands last year, it was a heartbreaker. A game won by the Planets 12-7. They took the last drive, drove it down the field, converted a big 4th down, and then Teddy Ruffner plunged it in for the winning touchdown. And the Mars Planets won that game and went on to the playoffs. And that game pretty much kept Highlands out. As we mentioned, the Rams finished up strong and ended up 4-3, but missed out on the playoffs. So then week 4, we come back to Highlands on September the 24th, and we'll host the Hampton Talbots for Youth Night. Always a big night when all the kids come out. The elementary schools empty out. The cheerleaders, the young girls come out with the varsity cheerleaders onto the field, and it's always a good time had by all. That'll be September 24th. The Talbots finished 5-3 a year ago, 3rd in the Greater Allegheny Conference. They beat Highlands 28-21 at Hampton on September the 25th in a game where Highlands, really facing a hangover coming off that Mars game, struggled to get themselves righted in that one, and the Talbots ran all over the Rams. Again, from the front porch, we're going to have some traffic. There goes a van by. And so anyway, that game will be Youth Night, September 24th. Then another home game, week 5. Friday night, October 1st, at home against the Plum Mustangs. It'll be sponsor night when the district will honor all the sponsors that help make Highlands football possible. The Plum Mustangs Greater Allegheny Conference champions a year ago. They were 8-1 under Coach Matt Morgan, the former Pitt Panther star. They beat McKeesport in the first round of the playoffs at home, but then also lost at TJ in the semifinals. Remember, only 8 teams made the playoffs a year ago. Still not 100% sure how that's all going to work out this year, but we'll keep you posted. In October last year, Highlands went down to Plum and lost in a tight one, 20-7. The Rams defense played really well in that game, and a lot of senior skill position players for the Mustangs were frustrated in that game. The Rams played well, but Plum prevailed 20-7 in that one, and they moved on to win undefeated in the regular season, the Greater Allegheny Conference Championship. Then October 8th, week 6, we make the trip to Indiana, and the foliage should be in full bloom by then. It should be a beautiful trip out there. The Indians 2-5 under Coach Brandon Overdorf, entering his 4th season. He was just renewed about a week ago for the position, so he will be back at coach in Indiana. The Rams started their end-of-season winning streak against the Indians last year at Highlands, winning 48-14 in a game where Indiana turned the ball over 6 times. They were very generous when they came into Highlands a year ago, and Brandon Overdorf had some things to say about how that wasn't indicative, the score not indicative of the 2 teams, and Indiana turned it over a bunch. The Rams capitalized and won the game, a game they really needed, 48-14. Speaking of games they really needed, October 15th, week 7, Armstrong, the Riverhawks, will come in for homecoming to Golden Ram Stadium. And this will be interesting because this is the matchup, the first time Armstrong will come to Highlands. This is a matchup of 2 teams who had the great comeback by Highlands last year at Armstrong. They trailed 27-6 with less than 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. But then it was Chandler Timmons who outdueled Caden Olson, the 2 great quarterbacks. And the Rams came back from 27-6 down with less than 4 to go in the 3rd and capped it off with a big win at Armstrong, winning that game 34-27. Coach Frank Fabian said after the game, we kept passing the ball because we just simply can't run it. And he figured the ball in Caden Olson's hands was their best way to go. The Rams defense really stiffened up down the stretch, and Armstrong couldn't move the ball at all, and the Rams were able to prevail in that one in their big comeback. Then we move on to week 8, October 22nd at Greensburg, Salem. The Lions under Coach Dave Kiefer, Greensburg-Salem Dave Kiefer, not to be confused with Southmoreland Dave Kiefer, because there are 2 of them, of course, and they know each other, and it's a long story. Greensburg-Salem 1-6 a year ago. Their only win was over winless Knoch. The Rams beat them 35-0 in the final game of the year. That game was at Highlands last year. We will go to Offutt Field, historic Offutt Field, in downtown Greensburg this year for that one, to see if the Rams are able to continue their mastery over the Lions that they started last year. Then we wrap the season up on October 29th, week 9, at home, the big rivalry matchup against the Knoch Knights. It'll be First Responders Night at Golden Ram Stadium. Knoch went 0-7 last year under 3rd-year coach Brandon Mowry, and they're looking to get back on track. Not a season that you're normally used to seeing with Knoch. Remember, we went out there for the opener last year as they mixed the schedule up a little bit, and the Rams were able to beat the Knights 39-7 at Knoch and get off to a good start in that 2020 season. It was the first time the Rams won at Knoch since 2008, so they're going to have some revenge on their minds when they come into Golden Ram Stadium for the final regular season game on October the 29th. So that's the schedule for Highlands' 54th football season. The Rams haven't made the playoffs since 2015, so hopefully they're going to get themselves back into playoff positioning. Now let's answer our trivia question. Remember, we asked you at the beginning, University Prep, who will be our opening opponent, week 0, August 27th at Golden Ram Stadium. What is their nickname? They are the University Prep Panthers, and if you remember, I said that they were put together, the school was put together as an amalgamation between the University of Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh Public Schools. They took the nickname Panthers, and that's who Lou Berry brings in on October 27th for the opener. The University Prep Panthers will come to Golden Ram Stadium. So that's the schedule. Hopefully, Mike Choma and I will be back with you before the season starts, kind of give you a little preview on the Golden Rams team. Maybe we'll catch some scrimmage action, see what's going on, some practice up at the stadium. Hopefully things will be opened up that we'll be able to do that. And we will be back on the air with you for the opening game against University Prep. Remember, right here on Highlands High Sports, next morning replay, and on Comcast Cable Channel 190, Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. We will be back with you for our 21st season, Mike Choma and I, of Highlands football. All right, that wraps up the schedule drop. This is Mike Pavlik. Thanks for watching, and until next time, so long, everybody.